Hi, I'm Gabrielle Sharak, an attorney in the Education Practice Group at Miller Johnson. Today, I'll be giving a 5-minute message regarding subpoenas. Recently, we have seen more school districts receiving an increased number of subpoenas, so this guidance is meant to help address that. First, according to the Michigan court rules, when a subpoena is signed by an attorney or a judge, it has the force and effect of an order signed by the judge of that court. It is important to note that it doesn't have to be signed by a judge, it can also be an attorney. And the signature can be written by hand or printed, stamped, typewritten, as stated. The rules are relatively loose regarding the signature itself, but it is important to note that subpoenas, once they are signed by the judge or the attorney, have the force and effect of a court order. According to the Michigan court rules, these are the basic requirements of a subpoena. First, it must be entitled in the name of the people of the state of Michigan, be imprinted with the Supreme Court Michigan seal. It has to have a typed or printed name of the court on it where the matter is pending. It has to have the place where the trial or hearing is scheduled, the title of the action where the person is expected to testify, whether it's a hearing or a trial, and has to state the file number assigned by the court. And lastly, it is important to note that a failure to comply with a subpoena, since subpoenas are essentially court orders, may result in that person being held in contempt of court, which is a pretty stringent penalty. The state court administrator has developed a form for statewide use for subpoenas. So we will walk through that form, and I've broken it down over a few slides. So first, in the upper left-hand corner, we have the specific court where the matter is pending. Then over here in the upper right corner, we have the case number and judge. Here is where you'll see the name of the matter, whether it's criminal or civil, and we will have the names of the parties, whether if it's criminal, it'll be people of the state of Michigan versus the defendant. And then over here, where it says in the name of the people of the state of Michigan too, that would be the specific person who the subpoena is addressed to, which is often where you'll see a staff member's name. Next, this is a very important section of the subpoena where you will find out what we are being ordered to do. Often we see a combination of boxes 1, 2, or 3 checked off. Box 1 and 2 being checked off is often for testimony, where you'll see a specific date and time where testimony is being required and the location of the testimony. And then box number 3 is also to produce records if that is checked off. Often the attorney will list here the specific records they are looking for, or they will say see attachment, where they will go into more detail of the records they are requesting. Next, box 8, we will see the specific person requesting the subpoena or issuing the subpoena. So here we'll often see the attorney's name, their address, and their phone number, or the judge, of course, but often we see attorneys issuing subpoenas to school districts. And here will be the signature as discussed above, which if it is signed, which it's important to make sure that it is, it has the force and effect of a court order. Next, this page is for proof of service. So like anything else in the legal world, we have to make sure that documents have been served or delivered properly to the person whom they are intended for. That will be for the attorney to fill out, and often we see subpoenas come to school districts by certified mail or some kind of delivery. Next, we will discuss the notice of the subpoena. So that is again going to the slide that we just addressed at that part of the subpoena. With regards to notice, the Michigan court rules require reasonable notice be given to the school district staff member whom the subpoena is addressed to. So the subpoena must be served at least 2 days before appearance or testimony, and it must be served 14 days before appearance when documents are requested. So basically, if the subpoena is asking for testimony or appearance of that staff member, we need 2 days notice. If the subpoena is asking for specific records, we need 14 days notice, and these are requirements under the Michigan court rules. Also, the attorney often issuing the subpoena must take reasonable steps to keep the witness informed of if the trial or hearing gets rescheduled or maybe it gets canceled, which can happen in some scenarios and often happens last minute. They have to keep the person who the subpoena is addressed to apprised of that. Lastly, we have a few tips regarding subpoenas if you happen to receive a subpoena anytime soon. So first off, know if the subpoena is for testimony slash appearance, if it's for records or for both. If the subpoena is specifically for education records, we want to make sure that we give that required FERPA notice. Under FERPA, if we receive a valid subpoena, then we can produce education records, applicable, of course, to redactions if applicable, right? And we want to make sure we're giving that FERPA notice. And if you need help with that, you can reach out to legal counsel as to what that looks like. But that notice has to be given in advance of compliance with the subpoena. Next, we want to confirm that the subpoena was served either, again, 2 days before an appearance or testimony, or 14 days before the requested records are due. And the subpoena will say when those records are due in that records box. Lastly, contact legal counsel if you need anything regarding the subpoena. This might look like being unsure if the subpoena is valid, having questions regarding testimony. Maybe the specific staff member has some anxieties about testifying in court before a judge and or jury. We often can meet with those staff members to help relieve any of those anxieties and give a clue as to what to expect in the process. Also, if there are some scheduling issues, you can also reach out to us and we can try to coordinate with the attorney who issued the subpoena as to see what we can do about that. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the Education Practice Group at Miller Johnson for all your subpoena needs.